We just managed to get down the papaya. Looks wonderful and smells good. Need probably a day of ripening off the tree, and then we'll eat it. So I want to share some fruit knowledge with you. We had a papaya growing next to our house here, and we just ate it. And I mean, I can't really show you how it looked inside, but this is how the skin looked. And you can look at the video to see how it looked before we ate it. So here's the skin, and as you can see, it's kind of green, kind of yellow, kind of orange, a little bit of everything. Then this papaya looks better, right? This one looks so vibrant, so orange, really, really strong color. And you know, we usually advise people to use their eyesight when you're buying fruit, when you're looking for the good fruit, and that's still a valid thing to consider. You want to look for what, you know, you want to pick out fruit that looks good and smells good and feels good and eventually tastes good, obviously. But the thing with fruit is that there's no rules. Like, there's so much little variation and details that you can't just like pin down how to select quality fruit. Because this is actually an amazing papaya. This was one of the best papayas I've had in my whole life. Whereas this papaya was not even mediocre. It was almost a bad papaya, really. It looks good, but it was not that good. This one looks kind of not, well, actually I think it looks pretty good actually when you think about it, but if you compare those two at the market, you'll be like, wow, you know? But the truth is, this was way better than this one. Don't you agree, Mads?
I agree.
He agrees. But so what's my point here? My point is that these are obviously two different varieties. So in the end, to be able to know what to look for when you're picking out fruit, you need to first of all know about that fruit. So a mango will be different from a papaya, and a papaya will be different from an apple, and they all ripen at different rates, and they all ripen differently, and some fruits ripen after you pick them and some fruits don't, and you know, so you got to learn about the specific fruit. Once you learn about the specific fruit though, you have to also learn about the specific variety, because there's so many varieties within each fruit. So this is one type of papaya, this is another type of papaya. But even further, you need to learn the specific tree. So, you know, this papaya tree, even though they're the same variety, this papaya tree might produce slightly different fruits than this papaya tree. Their genetics being slightly different, just like, you know, you might produce different babies than your neighbor, different genetics. Okay, so even though they're the same species. So you got to learn your tree, and then comes the factor of when it's picked. If it's picked at optimum ripeness, like this one was picked basically at as late as possible, almost before the insects got to it and stuff like that. It was picked really late. One more day on the tree and it would probably just drop on its own. So optimum ripeness. Whereas this one was probably picked, I don't know, a week ago, a couple of weeks ago. Might even be picked completely green and then ripen afterwards. So you don't really know. So yeah, my conclusion is just that you don't know. You can't just rely on one factor, and you can't rely on anything really. Fruit is an adventure land of surprises. There's always new things to learn. You always get surprised. You know, you get a good fruit that looks great and it tastes like crap. You get a fruit that looks terrible and tastes great, and you're always learning, and there's no way to pinpoint it. So in the end, you got to get out there and experiment, and that's what I want to encourage you to do. Rely on your senses and take feedback when you're eating, so that you know you learn over time what works and what doesn't, what seems to be the way to look for these avocados, when are they ripe, when are they overripe. You kind of learn over time, and experience, that's your main thing to rely on when you're eating fruit. Most important thing is that you're eating fruit, but you don't want it to be unripe and you don't want it to be low quality. So you're sort of forced into a situation where you gotta learn, and you gotta be willing to learn and willing to experiment and willing to fail. failure is the path to success, really. You know, you got to fail and fail and fail and fail and fail, and the more you fail, the more you will succeed. That is the path to success, really. So get out there and make mistakes. Get out there and buy fruit. Go out and pick fruit. Go out and learn. And yeah, over a course of a lifetime, or maybe 10, you'll get a little bit closer to pinpointing what exactly makes a fruit perfect or not. I hope you're having a good time wherever you are. We have a free e-booklet about how to get started with the raw food diet if you're interested in that. It's on our website, sweetnaturalliving.com. So go check that out, and in the meantime you can subscribe to our videos to get up to date all the latest stuff that we publish about fruit, health, traveling, freedom, awesomeness, that sort of thing. Alrighty, thanks for watching. See you around.